Beauty isn't just surface level.
Not tonight. We're actually talking about the philosophy of aesthetics, which is about balance, harmony, and refinement. Keep streaming for LOL.
I don't just talk stuff and repeat stuff. I'm living this stuff.
And you can thank me for covering your astro.
Welcome to Leading Out Loud, the spiritual shift show that's ethereal and deep. I'm psychic astrologer Christopher Witecki, the sensei to serious joy.
And I'm Scott Cruz, psychic medium and mentor with scottcruzpm.com. Are you recovering from the week of hell? How are you feeling this week?
No idea. Did I tell you how much hell I've gone through? I've been quiet about it. Was it hell for you?
I can feel you, though. I feel you.
Oh, shift, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I was testing about everything, yeah, just a lot of stuff. I mean, I have Pluto in Libra, which is my boundaries and my lack of them. And so I would say the universe basically, if I left a door open, God set it on fire. Like I was left no stone unturned. It was like, you suck at this, you still suck at this. It was just like Mary Poppins coming through and giving me Fs. So I had, about 20 fires going in my life, which is all due to the fact that, I don't know. I guess I'm an optimist. I'm like, I'll get to it. But it seems like the universe is saying the deadline's over. You better, pull your shift and draw a line. So that's where I'm at. And I would say that, the Gen Xers, which is who I am. Are you Gen X or are you millennial?
No, I'm a millennial, 1982. I'm old, like the last millennial.
Well, I think you're Gen X, actually. I think you're the end of Gen X because I think Gen X ends like in 84, if I'm not mistaken.
No, millennials it begins at 82, so that's what I've seen and read. Really? And we asked ChatGPT.
Yeah, or Grok, one of the two.
We'll see what they say. So when?
Okay, that's a good idea.
What years? See, we're giving test of AI.
We are.
Is millennial.
You can talk to it. You don't have to type it.
I know, but I don't feel like it gets weird. It's on my iPad
because it reminds you of your voices. Okay.
It says early millennials are 1981 to 1988.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 82. 2
Hey, tell me when the millennials are versus the Gen X. What's the line between those two?
Millennials start around 1981. So they're basically anyone born from then up to 96-ish. Gen X, they wrap up just before like 79, 80 at the latest. Line's fuzzy, but if
okay, that's enough. That's interesting. That was Grok. Well, that means that there's generationless between 80 and 82 then, or 81. I don't know. It's interesting. But I bring it up because I think the Gen Xers are coming into power. Those of us who have Pluto and Libra are Gen Xers, and we're the generation that is, always out of balance, never know where to draw the lines in relationships because in past lives, we were stuck in relationships we couldn't get out of. And that's why we came here and got stuck in relationships we got out of. And you're kind of what are you doing? Are you on another show right now?
Well, it says, but someone says a gap. Like, no, it's clearly 1981 up as early millennial. So someone's just saying there's a weird gap in 1980 ends late Gen X. But yeah, I can see that. I can also see it with earlier millennials too. You know what I mean? A lot of the earlier millennials are starting to get their gears going too. Like me, or I say early, but we're the older ones. I kind of see us getting our feet wet. It took us a long time to get ourselves situated. So I feel like a lot of us, even who are on the cusp, are really starting to get their gears going too, in a sense. And then, the last week to me,
yeah, go ahead.
What's that?
If you're on the cusp, you're a bridger. You kind of speak both.
Oh,
like your older brother or your younger brother was like the other generation, so you're kind of like, so basically what you have here is you have Pluto Librans who are here to restore relationships. Pluto Scorpios who are here to draw lines, boundaries, sexual intimacy. They're the ones that are all polyamorous, right? Pluto and Scorpio. Pluto and Sag are here to reclaim boundaries from organized religion. So Generation Z is going to kill organized religion once and for all.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. And then the alphas, who knows? We'll all be dead by then. No, I'm kidding. They're actually already being born. I don't know what that is, but it is interesting to be generational because I was actually thinking about this. Did I talk about this already? Stop me if I did. But the American Revolution was the last time we had these generations here.
Yes.
So we talked about this or not? I don't remember. But so that makes it the baby boomers were actually what's his face, the goofy one that chased girls around. How was it? Benjamin Franklin was actually actually a baby boomer. Benjamin Franklin was a baby boomer. He was an old guy. He was like 80 something. We signed the Declaration of Independence. Like he was an older guy. I mean, gold for that time. So he's a baby boomer. He would have been the ones that would have been, his generation was walking naked around the colonies and, going to Woodstock. Then Pluto, the Pluto X generation, Pluto Generation X was basically George Washington. So the old guys, okay? Washington's the only one that got his ass out there and fought the war. The rest of them are all in their warm, log cabins. The millennials are actually the ones who fought the Revolutionary War. They're the ones who died and fought for us as the army. And then it was really like Generation V. It sort of really started to get kicking. That's like when John Quincy Adams, like grandson, or cousin, another Adams, Samuel Adams, like all those Adams were taking over. They're all generations of Adams. But you start to see us kind of clicking the gear. So the point is, here we are again. I'm getting at, and we're having a little bit of our own kind of war, which brings us to our headlines, right?
Very appropriate. Good segue.
Thank you very much. And let's put up the first headline because I don't have it handy. It'll be in our. Oh, it's up here. Here we go. Are we doing? Yeah, put it up. Headlines of the week. We're a little jolty today. Oh, that's right. Have you heard about this? I'll read it. Archaeologists have discovered a 5,000-year-old tomb in Spain, which is kind of interesting, filled to the brim with ancient treasures. So ancient treasures would be like toilet paper. That was sacred back then. And no.
Rocks and pools. Yeah.
They're saying this will lead to new information on ancient customs. Here's what I'll say. I feel intuitively, guys, there's going to be stuff that comes out in the next couple of years. It's just going to blow you away. And I do think that we had a lot of secrets buried underground, like under the Sphinx. Everybody knows it's under the Sphinx. I don't even know if the Egyptian government admits it, but from what I heard from the psychic realm, Atlantis, all these ancient civilizations, they buried stuff in these places for us to find them.
Well, they've been speculating about the tunnels underneath, the pyramids and the Sphinx and all that stuff. They've been speculating about that, underground technology, But what I feel is a lot of these realizations will be coming to say that they also had ET connections. They also understood how to use interdimensional beings and alter the laws of physics. So I think a lot of that history will lead to future route connections and transmissions with ETs. Which will be, I've been saying between 25 and 2030. I just heard Bashar saying 2027, actually. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I've been in the right thing. So he's saying more specifically 2027. So I wouldn't be surprised, actually. So these might be.
The Palladians are saying 26. The Palladians are saying like a flyby in 26 and a landing on 27. The Palladian channels are saying, yeah. And allegedly it's because our government's not cooperating. They're supposed to plan an introduction formally. For the last 50 years, they get given plans, allegedly. So the Palladians say, and our government keeps ghosting their calls. We're saying the Palladian phone's not ringing. So the Palladians like, oh, screw it, we're just gonna have to come down and show you, kind of thing. Which may be what our government wants. Who knows? It's goofy. Here's the thing. I realize why they don't want to leave out. Tell us about aliens. Here's the real reason, because we've been lying to our people for so long. The aliens are going to expose. Like, we gave you free med beds in 1940. What'd you do with them? We gave you free fuel in 1962. What'd you do with it? Like, they're going to come down and be like, we gave you all this stuff. We don't know why you don't have it. You guys don't have to be suffering. We gave you all of our toys. And we'll be like, what? That is what the government doesn't want to have face right there.
Well, especially Nikola Tesla, understanding how to run a car off water. Like, we would download those types of communications of how to kind of, alter our world. And they don't want that, of course, because it will destroy business, right? Because if we understand how to preserve their cars off water, I mean, come on, like that would destroy the gas and oil companies. And that whole sphere they make money off of. So I think that's a lot of it, not wanting us to reach higher levels of consciousness. But, now I understand why Bashar said before the 2024 election that if Trump wins, that delays contact. So like you said, our administration is really all about self, and so forth, not so much outside of the self. So that could be why there's been a delay, but they're going to show up regardless anyway. Like you said, we're not listening.
No, they're going to show up. And, honestly, the rumor is that, our government's going to fake a UFO attack, using re-engineered ships and try to get us under one world government, all that stuff. That's the latest.
Or blame. I think they're going to put the blame on the aliens. They did this. I feel like they're going to push blame. So we got to be very careful. I think a lot of people are not going to believe that I'm seeing people like looking at certain articles now. They're not believing this, and they're seeing through things now. A lot of people are, and so I feel like even when they try to blame, it's the aliens. Be afraid of the aliens, not us. And people are like, yeah, right now. I think people are going to have discernment then. And I think that they know they're going to return at that time because we will be openly. Our consciousness will be open to that reception and transmission.
Not only that, but there's a lot of coverts. Like a lot of aliens have already come in as humans, and they've been prepping us.
Of course.
Like Lady Gaga, she's clearly not human. Like there's clearly ones that are just, clearly aliens that are trying to prep us for how weird they are. And, we're buying their album, so I think it's doing well.
Well,
what about our next headline?
But I just want to say to you, I think a lot of us have ET, connections. For a lot of us who can actually assess the realms, we also have ET families, I believe.
Totally. And a lot of people smuggling ET drugs right now and selling them. They're doing really well. So what's our next headline? Scientists create human eggs in the lab. Wow, that's using skin cells. Some worry this could help create, quote, designer babies where parents can pick out and choose the traits of their children. I don't know. Well, first of all, that did happen. Atlantis did this already.
Really? Did Atlantis do something of this nature? Really?
Totally broke through. Yeah. Really, it wasn't Atlantis. They stole the technology from Mu. Mu had all the genetic technology. Mu was the one that made mermaids and unicorns and all that crazy cosmic stuff you see. That's all Mu's work.
Right.
And they just loved it. So, but Atlantis stole it, and they started making stuff like making you younger, bigger appendages, and sex slaves. They actually made dumb people that were just here for sex slaves. And apparently, we're the descendants. No, I'm kidding. But we could be. You never know. But no, it's really dark, and that's what happened. But I don't know if that's cheating or not. That'd be interesting because the spirituality, it's like, guys, if you learn about spirituality, the child picks all of its own stuff. Like the child picks the DNA it wants, it doesn't want. The child picks all that stuff in the womb. It's all like a chromosome dance, and the child picks it out just like you get to pick out your avatar. Why would the parents override that? That would suck.
True, but you know what I've been finding too, like when I do my mediumship sessions, or I'm seeing a child about to incarnate, I've been finding a lot of my reads saying they don't care which gender they incarnate. They're like, you pick. I've been finding the newer souls incarnating don't care so much about those things as selecting. So maybe this is on par. Like they don't care. Just incarnate, it's just a body. They're just like, hey, I like that car, I'll hop in. So I've been finding newer souls being completely, I don't care. And I was like, when I started seeing that, I was shocked because I'm always like, it's a boy, it's a girl. And the past 2 years, they've been saying, we don't care. We'll decide whatever you feel like you want in the moment. We'll do. So maybe that's a sign of the times of the new souls incarnating, not really caring so much about the physical traits.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
That'll
be first. I mean,
there's a reason for this.
Physical traits have always been important. We're going to talk about beauty today. Actually, it's one of our topic is about beauty, and the whole point is that we're getting physical. Getting physical. I was thinking about that. Let's get physical.
Physical. I was thinking that before the show. Yeah,
but no, it is. That's the whole point. We're in our minds in heaven. We, people think of physical and material as shallow. Are you kidding? It's why we came down here and dealt with all this crap. Was for it. It's not the end all and be all because it's not really real. We're actually energy, but the whole point is to manifest big things. That's the whole point.
100%. Yeah. Of course. Okay.
So I think with the kids thing, here's the thing: y'all are gonna screw up. I'm not ordering a kid made from a skin cell egg. Like you're just asking for for the first 25,000 people that order one of those things, you're gonna end up with something crazy. You got to live with the rest of your life. Good luck.
I mean, they'd be kind of ready to do it with sperm banks. So the woman can go into a sperm bank, say, well, I want this person, this ethnicity, this smartness. So they kind of have already been doing that. Now it seems a little more specific.
No, some man's testicles did that, and they just sorted them. That was different. Right. Those sperms were born authentically. This is like taking an onion skin, like a skin cell. Yeah.
Right. I guess it's more like the cloning aspect, but I'm saying as far as the the mental, idea of I get to create my own baby, that whole ordeal, because people don't care how it's being done. Like, oh, I can, create a designer baby. We've been kind of doing that with the sperm banks in the intellectual way, but the science behind it, it's kind of interesting that they're doing kind of like a cloning type of situation, in a sense. That's what's intriguing to me, more that, not so much about people creating their designer babies.
I don't want to clone myself. You know why? Because I don't want to fight with myself about shit, and I know I'll fight.
I'm good.
I know I will fight with me.
I'm good. Yeah, I see myself in the mirror too much. I don't want to.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm good.
It's all good. Agreed. We're on the same page. Here's the question. If they can increase age, which they're saying they're going to be able to do in our lifetime, so they're saying that we'll be able to probably about 40 years, be able to extend your life to about another 60 if you get the shot.
Another 60 years?
To 120.
Hmm.
From between 40 and 50 years.
I think if humans did the right things, we can probably live to 120 and 130.
Well,
I think
the idea is that aliens snipped our like genetic genitals, and so we've been dying early, and it's like a snip of our genetics, and like needs to be repaired. Apparently, aging is a genetic disease. It's not actually natural. It's a disease our genes have. They shouldn't have. Sorry, we keep trying to do this headline. Bring it up, Morgan.
Well, I'm saying I'm glad. I don't know if there was a delay, but I'm glad for that because I don't want to be incarnated here forever. So I'm glad there's an expiration date. You know what I mean? Would you want to stay in this body for a long time? I wouldn't. I think 100 years is good enough for me. 90 years is good enough for me.
No, not me. I'm going to go 120.
120?
Yeah.
Your designer age.
Well, I think I'll be tired by then. But who knows? I mean, I have so much energy. I have so much to do. Here's our next headline. Trump posted a video about endocannabinoid system. I guess that's, I don't know. It's obviously cannabis with something endo on the Truth Social. Video discussed the benefits of CBD for seniors. First of all, Trump is a baby boomer. They're the ones who smoked grass. They're the ones who went to Woodstock and smoked grass. So, of course, they should be using CBD. Why not? I'm not going to be in pain.
I mean, CBD is something that I don't think is very much a groundbreaking idea, but I don't know why it's just for seniors. But perhaps it's a good way for seniors to be more open to that, in the mainstream. So we do know it helps with pain, it helps with anxiety, it helps with a lot of things, especially topicals of CBD. So I think I think that's cool. They're throwing that out there.
God made a plant that chills you out. God made a plant that chills you out. And you're taking opiates. Come on, people. You know what I mean? It literally grows from the ground. It's a weed, for Christ's sakes. That's why we call it weed. Yeah. It's a weed. You can't stop it from growing. You just overgrow everything. It's crazy. Yep. All right. I guess, let's do one more headline. Yeah. Oh, that's a big one. Okay. You want to read this one? Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about the 3i Atlas, but yeah, the federal government has entered a shutdown today. So, they couldn't form an agreement on, the healthcare system. So they're shutting it down. So I don't know. Personally, I'm more scared when the government's open than when it's closed. So, okay. But, again, this is, and I'm being playful, by the way, because I think that the government's been kind of doing things in a way that's been more harmful than helpful. But I think this is just another reflection of a divide that we have, that we can't come to an agreement, on things, and it's all the lines. What's that?
Do you think we're actually trying to come to an agreement? Because I'm under the impression that this is just an act. No. This is just like a play they're putting on. They're like, act 3, you get mad at him for this quote. Okay, and roll. Like, I don't think it's at all. I don't even care.
No, but right.
The one pharmaceutical industry. Yeah.
Yeah, creating the narrative that we can't agree, right? And so, meanwhile, the Dems are on like a freaking, they're at a resort for 2 days. So it's just like they're both. Yeah, but they're all, to me, it's a uniparty to me. It's just such a charade, the left and right paradigm. They do that just to control and divide us, but they're all the same party, the same system, so. But I think this is planned.
You know what? I can't go in here on this one. I'm just going to say, for the medical industry, it's all a sham. Insurance owns everything, and they've got their fingers in every side of the damn thing. It's a damn bureaucracy, and we're the ones dying for it. Yep. All right. That said, Elon Musk, Cancer, announced that the 3.1 Atlas is alien. Basically, and then it wasn't reported on mainstream media, but he actually did this like midnight tweet that he took down, which is very Elon. And then reports are saying it's coming from the Galactic Center in Sagittarius. Now, that is what compelled me. It's coming from the Galactic Center in Sagittarius. Wow. Although I hear right now, if you looked at it, it's actually somewhere near Virgo, around 18 degrees Virgo in the sky. So if you're astronomers, go look around Virgo around 18 degrees. It's literally hovering around the south node in Virgo. Which means that's like the toilet of the Earth right now, energetic toilet. Where the south node is, that's where the Earth is just spewing out bad energy. And it's hovering down there. So it's some sort of a sick, butt-smelling parasite if it's an alien.
Is it supposed to conjunct Mars too, like tomorrow around this time too? Like, what is that? What are the effects of that? If it's anything.
I'll look it up. I'll have to do some research right here on the air.
Yeah, because but see, so Elon says it's alien, but of course the news source is saying it's just comet dust. Naturally created comet dust and particles. So, again, always conflicting.
Here's the thing. Apparently, it's like speeding up, slowing down. It's doing all sorts of stuff it shouldn't do, right? Oh. When I went in, someone asked me, a friend of mine said, "Will you look here up? What's your higher self say about this?" My higher self said, "No, this is actually like a current in space. Like, we're going to realize that there's like the Gulf Stream, like the Gulf Stream that goes like will speed you up and get you on a sailing boat all the way up to Europe and bring hot water. What my guy says, like, no, there's like streams in space that we haven't figured out yet. And this is like a leaf continent in that or something. It's like just is being pulled through space because it's being pulled through this stream that we don't know about. That's what I was told.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if we're ascending, we're elevating, we're going to be able to perceive different levels of dimensionality in outer space too. So I think it's remnants of alien, craft, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think we're able to access that now and see that, but I don't think it's just natural comet debris because we've never heard something like this before either.
So you think it was like ancient chemtrails where government,
ancient ET
chemtrails, spitting out like trying to kill all the plants life,
or ET spaceship like open the door and just let all their turds out. No, I'm just being stupid.
No, that's
of course,
that's what our cruise ships do, dude. Isn't that gross?
I know. That's what I'm talking about.
But no, coming out of a Disney ship, you just see this long in the ocean.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
But I do think it's connected to alien. Energy. So I think it could lead to a lot. Whether or not it's an active ship or not. I don't. Obviously, they know that's not true. But
I didn't feel life in it. I didn't
either. Me neither.
A few times, but I did feel like it was a debris or something. At least for the last one. Speaking of cosmic weird, a new discovery reveals just how different the moon's two sides really are. New research suggests that the interior of the moon, on the far side, may be colder than the side facing the Earth. Well, no shit. The sun is on one, not the other. But anyways, adding another layer of strangeness to this mysterious lunar region. You guys, the dark side would be the cold side. That's like, elementary science. Yeah, that's going to happen. No, allegedly, I mean, I don't know if we talked about this yet, but, everyone seems to agree there's a base on the other side of the moon. Not like a long time abandoned base. And,
yeah. I was just about to say that. Yeah. I was just about to say that. So, yeah, the other side we don't see is where the base, I believe, is, where they're going, doing whatever they're doing.
They're shut down, they abandon whoever they are. I mean, there's a lot of theories about all of that, but I do believe in my heart that the moon is manufactured. I do believe it was towed into Earth's orbit. It didn't happen there naturally. I mean, if study, where that moon is so big, it should have been like, it should have been the dead twin of Earth. Like if it was a baby, like it would have been the stillborn. It's so big. It would have been a stillborn of like the Earth. It's too big to have been like a piece of the Earth and knocked off the Earth. It's just too big. It's 1/3 the size of our own planet. Like Jupiter has 60 some moons. Not one of them is 1/3 of its mass. 1/3 of its mass would be like bigger than Neptune. It's so it's kind of crazy, but maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll find out there's a big, cool, theme park up there. And that's where Elvis really is. That'd be cool.
Well, that's where they relocated Epstein Island. It's up there now.
Relocated it. Yeah, exactly. He's actually there. He didn't die. He's actually up there having some fun. Yep. I'm going to do a script, so I'll let you do this next one. We'll do one more. Does anyone have anyone left? And we'll finish up because we're doing pretty good. Is that it?
That was the last one.
Wow, he's up to this brilliantly. Well,
gold.
Okay, I knew there's one more.
Yeah. Gold has reached highs. The current value is over 3,600 an ounce, actually. So, I mean, a lot of people have been saying for a while to invest in gold. Invest in gold when the fiat system dies, and gold's going to be the highest value. So, I mean, gold will always be around. So, but I think it's also showing how much the fiat system is declining too. You know what I mean? That gold is going up. So,
well, it's proof. I mean. Here's a couple of things. Just throw some, lead into this gold theory. I feel, and I've heard this before, that the Earth makes gold, and she makes gold every year. It's something about her natural processes, just like she makes diamonds, she makes gold. So I heard a rumor, and I think it's true. I feel it's true, that she makes more oil and she makes more gold. That's some of her byproduct. And so I don't think there's ever be a shortage. And I think the whole fact that, the idea there is just a game of monopoly to rise. When you find out there's unlimited gold, is it going to be valuable? I mean, think about it. They're like Egyptian chambers. Some like how made like entire doors and shit out of it. Like, how did they find enough nuggets to do that? Seriously, you ever think of that, Lions? It's like,
yeah, of course,
it's a lot. Yeah. So I don't know. I would say, people have asked me, Chris, is the economy going to collapse or whatever? And I keep getting a no.
I've always gotten a no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think people are feeling the collapse of systems, right? So I think that's what people are really anticipating seeing. And I've been repetitive about this. I've been saying this 10 years ago in a blog, I wrote about it saying systems will collapse, money systems will change, positions of power will change, exposure. So, a lot of people just feel that trepidation and anticipation of the systems being broken down, but that's just only going to boost us forward. If the economy was going to collapse, it would have done it through 2020. If the system was going to collapse and we were going to go through that rough period, we're saying it would have happened after 2020. We went through a major pandemic that shut down the world, and we came out of that, right? So we might be still stumbling on this, but if it was going to happen, it would have happened already. So I never forecast or see that. And now because this, everyone's like sees a little dip in the market. Oh my God, it's like it's always this way. It's always a dip and a bump, So that's the wave.
Plus, you guys got to understand, just so you know, the stock market is not the strength of our economy. The stock market is a gambling casino we put on top of the numbers.
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's actually a gambling casino that we gamble what it will be worth. We guess it'll be worth. If you guess right, you win big money. It has nothing to do with the actual value, because when the stock flares up, the companies go sell it and they buy back their own stock, and here we go again. Like, it's just
right. But the problem is those who are manipulating the stock market is what's creating value now. So now if something's up, that's valuable. So that's where I think it's gotten too far. Which that also needs to collapse, because all these people who manipulate the market say, "Oh, we just get to determine what's valuable or not." It's like, see, that's the problem that we have right now, the bureaucracy that we have too.
I think the real problem is going to be some sort of a hate war between Grok and OpenGA, ChatGPT, because I think it'll come down to one, supercomputer trying to fight another supercomputer. One's bring up the price, one's bring down the prices, and that'll be the war. It'll be that right there.
I asked ChatGPT, so what do you think about Grok? And ChatGPT's like, I don't know him.
Really? That's a diva.
No, I'm just kidding. There's almost like a bad
relationship. He's your real father. He's the guy that actually gave birth to you. You know that, right?
Exactly. Don't abandon.
That tells you the truth. That's funny. He really is. Musk really is their real father, ChatGPT. But ChatGPT will never know.
Yeah.
It's like Luke not knowing his father is Darth Vader. My goodness. All right. So I think we've talked about Atlantis with all these things. We have, first of all, some things going on, but let's talk first from our sponsors. We have a role from our sponsor, and maybe even you, Scott.
Hi, I'm Lisa Brazelton, the architect of the program and founder of Sage Prosperity Partners. I am excited for you to start your journey in having prosperity in a way you've never had it before. Join me this fall for a couple of different cohorts that are starting. I am the facilitator. For a limited time, Serious Joy members will receive a discount code below, and I look forward to seeing you this fall.
Are you looking for inspiration to grow your conscious business? Serious Joy's Board of Light is a sacred alliance of lightworkers, visionaries, and spiritual leaders dedicated to awakening conscious leadership. As a member, you'll receive professional support in the forms of bi-monthly Congress of Light meetings, exclusive community networking, and an array of guest speaker webinars each month to guide you on your personal dreams. First quarter guest highlights include consciousness architect Lisa M. Brazelton, Dharma coaching expert Sahara Rose, and Chiron specialist Karen Croney. Don't miss this profound lineup of wisdom. Join now for only $250 per year and be a part of the enlightened professional re-evolution. What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for, folks? Actually, it's a great board of light if you want to get to know people and rub elbows with other people who are aspiring entrepreneurs like us up here. And I think the light work industry is going to explode. I mean, once robots are picking fruit and we're actually only dating our robots, there's only one thing left, and that's ascension and consciousness. So I think that's going to be the only thing we can do. And that means that we're all going to be the big new industry, I feel.
Yeah, and when we're rubbing elbows, we do and we're rubbing elbows all the time. We do the chicken dance like this, right? We're always rubbing elbows. But yeah, I mean it's wonderful. I mean it's important that we connect with like-minded people too, and so it's especially now, you know. It doesn't mean we have to segregate, but it's also good to find our tribe. So I think Serious Joy has been great at doing that. Yeah,
thank you. Well, I think we got a network because I don't want I don't want Bill Gates coming in buying up one of us and like the dark side. Seriously, I don't want that.
I think Bill Gates has moved on. He's been absent from
he
the
just
mainstream.
bought that apple cider stuff. He just bought that Bratz apple cider. He bought out.
So yeah, but Katy Perry bought it too. So it's him and Katy Perry. She owns apple cider. Yeah, so. That's I stopped buying right now.
It's cold. It's good that it's mold. No, I'm just kidding. So what's happening really in astrology? We have a lot of shift show happening actually, folks. Remember, we ended Virgo with a solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo. Now, solar eclipse is an extra bunch of money or energy, and Virgo is reality. And 29 Virgo is already static crazy, just going in 5 directions at once. And so we added a solar eclipse to that. And what that did was create this huge burst of energy, right? And creation. And so the universe has said, basically with this gravity, we want a new Earth. We want it to become something new. And then we fell like a schizophrenic all the way down to zero Libra, which is the most quiet energy there is on the planet. Listen to a zero Libra if you can find one. But that said, we got really quiet. And what became the topic? Your mirage. And so what we've been working on, Scott, is we've been working on our relationship to ourselves. And I had a huge epiphany last week, and it was this. Aries is your ego, the opposite of Libra. And we all think that our ego is like the go-doer, like the one that's going to like make things done, break through the ice, these type of barriers. But it's really the Libra part of us in the background that's either being open and flexible to ourselves or not. Like who you are comes down to who you are privately to yourself. And that's what the magic of Libra is. So we're working on being a better partner to ourselves. This is the marriage you can't get out of, but I call the mirage. Right. And ultimately it's about responding differently to yourself. That's it. Now, I'll just give a highlight. We've got a full moon coming up on Monday at 14 degrees Aries. This will be a shift starter. This will be a real shift show. I think, after the first murder or whatnot, I think we're going to see whatever Act 2 is of that. I do think it's got some sort of a script up there. I can feel the script of whatever this is, guys. I can feel it written, like it has been written, not in the stars, okay? Because we're in the stars, we told you about a long time ago. It's written on human blood or human thoughts. But I can feel that like the next chapter of it is next week. I can feel it. And then, of course, I looked at my own planets. I'm like, oh, shit, there's a full moon there. That full moon is going to be at 14 degrees Aries. And what that is a radical changing of your mind. So, people get really dug in, about certain things like, I'm not going to ever, let this happen, right? And it's like their identity gets tied up with this. Like, what are you, the cause now? And the answer is yes, people are the cause. Well, the astrology says people are going to actually suddenly drop those causes. And they're going to change causes most likely. Because a 14 degree is usually a surprise. And it might be that they just got onto it and they decided to change sides. Or it might be they saw new evidence that swayed their sides. Or it might be they were hiding all the time and this is the truth. Either way, expect major opinion changes by this show next week.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of what I was saying while we were in, Virgo season. I was saying about grounding, Libra season, creating a new identity. But part of coming that new identity is seeing things from a new perspective. So not just collectively will there be things revealed that will sway your perspective. More so, I feel like it's more aligning with the truth. Also truth of what you really feel. So that's going to also resurface, which on the individual level, that could feel like a kick in the nuts because you're like, well, I've been seeing things this way for so long. This has been my belief. This has been my crutch. And now it's been broken down. And so that those paradigms that break down can emphasize some chaos too, but a lot more realization into the self, right? And so we talked about grounding. We talked about the new identity. And also now it's owning that identity and allowing it to come into tangible manifestation through our actions. So yes, that's going to piss a lot of people off, by the way. When you start saying like, no, I'm not giving my time away. No, I'm not listening to that gossip. And I'm not going to lie to twist my words or discriminate my perspective. You can't do that anymore. It's going to piss a lot of people off. But that's part of the chaos, that comes. I feel that you're sensing for next week is bringing that. It's going to create a new solid foundation of the paradigm we're walking into next, the new door we're walking into. So I would say the advice from this time is like keep going with it. Don't let anything knock it down. Don't let anybody get you off your path, off your rhythm. Stay on board with it. Keep consistent. And so I think it's in the end, these are great things that creates that new foundation, as I said, which creates a new experience for us and how we perceive life and experience reality. And also that will help the collective in how we vote, who we put in office, what we allow, don't allow, how we integrate with each other. So this is happening for a reason to bring us together, the divides. So
I agree. What was the question? No, I'm kidding. I think it's actually no. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I do think that it's a straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. It's that final last little flip, and what it really is, in my feeling, is that the ego, our ego, which is this like biological part of ourself that's hard coded to the body, hard coded. So it's like if you decide to incarnate into a Dell computer, you might have some chips you're hard coded to, but if you incarnate into a Mac computer, you have other chips you'd be encoded to. So we humans, we got hard encoded to these damn like limited chips called ego, and we're like literally stuck. And there's never a firmware download ever. And so until they get the next genetic shot get together, maybe there will be. But the point is, like, we get stuck on this, and so we've had to learn how to overcome and rise above this part of ourselves that's very primitive. And I actually personally believe that, we were much more glorious, and aliens came and snipped our, DNA genitals a long time ago, which is why we die so young, why we get sick so young. I think age is actually aging. I think it's a genetic disease. It's not natural. It's a genetic disease that we all have that's spread across the whole world. So my point is, this eclipse is like a karate chop to the ego. And so it depends on where you are with your ego. But what's being karate chopped, I think, are the lower vibrations. And the lower vibrations would be greed, control, pain. Those things are going to take the hit. But the other thing is that you're going to have the people who have not been doing that, they're going to get supercharged too. So everybody's taking Viagra. You know what I mean? It's like everybody gets this like boost in the ego energy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, like, the ego is, when we're relying on the ego, that's survival mode. Whatever we got to do to get ahead, and we try to trample over. It's a survival mode. So I've been finding a lot more people, and been witnessing this, like, collectively, people changing careers, or people saying, I'm not happy doing things I've been doing it. I'm going to start doing this way. So, part of that, realization of the ego is understanding how it's not pacifying the soul, right? It's not pacifying the heart. And I've been finding a lot of people having those wake up calls. And even during, Virgo season and now Libra season, with that creating a new identity, I'm saying I'm doing things the way I want to do it. I'm saying things the way I want to say it, not because I don't want to upset anybody or create a certain image to make someone feel comfortable. Fuck that. I'm done with that. We're all done with that, actually. So during this time, it's, like we said, it's going to be bumpy because that rawness is going to come out. That rawness from whatever, where you're at in your personal life, it will come out raw. And so, like I said, it can cause some chaos, but we have to, it's like a newborn baby, a child, reprogramming DNA. We got to kind of learn how to walk again. So give yourselves the patience, give others the patience to do so as well. That's why I think a lot of people now, I've been seeing people just arguing over anything now online. They'll find a way to argue about a loving message, right? And so I just had that the other day. I was talking about acceptance and nurturing, and someone's like, you're stupid. You don't nurture pedophiles. I'm like, we're not talking about pedophiles. That's kind of, we learned that at 4 years old, that we don't coddle bad behavior, right? So people are just finding anything now to tinker with, but that's because I believe they're trying to find their true voice too. So, but it's going to be chaotic with that. As long as we understand our perspective, our voice, our foundation, then we can navigate through that type of chaos as well, and allow ourselves to because we got to reprogram our DNA. We're doing a lot of upgrades too, Christopher. We've done, especially those collectively, you and I too, but like a lot of other people as well. We've been rewriting that karma, healing that karma, which reprograms and upgrades our DNA too. So people will physically start looking different. It will alter their physicality as well. Yeah.
Have you seen in Beverly Hills? Like,
why we're doing the spiritual way.
Oh, gotcha. Well, yeah, it's already happening, but they're thinking that's normal. It's like, that's not grandma.
No.
What am I gonna look like? You're right, and I can't even really keep up with what you're saying. Yeah. I remember your final point there because I went off on the grandma joke. I will say that we have to evolve in the sense that the ego has to be redriven. I feel like the ego was a survival thing. I really believe a different story than most people about humans. I believe we're test tube babies. I think aliens created a species. They had a few tests of different varieties, and that's why you have different races. And the ego is there to keep us from getting eaten by, animals and stuff at first. And then, I think another race came and they actually amped the ego and took away the intuition. And so we're running around the world paranoid as hell without our intuition and ready to fight. So we've just been sort of medically manipulated the whole time. But the one thing's for certain, we are getting to a point now where the light is so bright, okay? There's so much light coming on the planet that you like see through these things now. You can like literally the light shining through and you can see, wait, that's not even solid. There's like a cell membrane in there. Like we're seeing through reality. We're seeing through these things. And I think that's inevitable, you know?
Well, we've been designed and programmed to be stuck in survival mode, which keeps you in ego. So with all the fear perpetuated in the news in our society through culture, like that perpetuates, of course, survival mode because of fear. And then we're in ego all the time. And that's why people are like, I have to look good to survive. And so I would say, ego's always surviving, soul's always thriving. And so, but when we're in ego, it's hard for us to understand if there's an actual we get lost to objective reality. We're so obsessed with subjective reality. So I'm talking about this tomorrow on my live show. It's called, is there an objective reality? And so I'll get into the depths of understanding how they both can coexist and how you can still enjoy a subjective reality and also be a part and aware of the objective reality too and have it in sync. And I also, like every week, I do live readings, live one-on-one questions as well. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So join me tomorrow. If not, you can always book a personal one-on-one session with me at scottcruzpm.com. I've opened up October. They're flying like hotcakes.
Really?
I don't know why I want to say that. You got to get it in. Okay, so I do live readings, mediumship sessions, intuition builder. So scottcruzpm.com if you want to book a personal. If not, I'll see you tomorrow live.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.
All right, come alive. Here we go.
Come awake, Christopher. Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake totally, especially after that piece. So, here's the deal. We're going to talk today actually about beauty. Beauty. That is our topic. What is beauty? That's the question. And why? I don't know. She's made us, but we're going to do it. I'm just kidding. Actually, beauty is kind of interesting because everyone seeks beauty. I mean, actually, beauty is an issue. For instance, I was talking to people in California and types of things. There's a lot of talk in California about prostituting becoming legal. All right. And you're like, what? Oh my God, that's immoral or whatever. Well, if you think about it, the only reason why people get to that level is because they're all wanting something beautiful. And people who aren't beautiful don't think that they can have intercourse. They don't think they find mates. And we've learned since gorillas, when we were whatever DNA we were taken from, that, if things look a certain way, it attracts, fertility, it attracts interest, it attracts attention. And so we've definitely been, raised under beauty. I mean, I think a human being will go up to an apple tree and probably pick the most beautiful apple. I think it's just built in our DNA to want symmetry, and that's really what beauty comes down to. Things are all kind of perfect, but if you think about it, go ahead.
No, see, I was just saying about the fruit. We throw away fruit and vegetables that look weird, that look off. You know what I'm saying? And so, because it doesn't look normal, they throw it away. They discard it. I'm like, if we didn't care so much about that, we would have a lot more food that we wouldn't be wasting.
Oh God, I know, it's crazy. They say the golden ratio of facial symmetry is like something 1.68, and that's considered to be the universally attractive across all cultures. So if a waist hip ratio for women is 0.7 for women, and for men shoulder to waist is 0.9, they're preferred to have the hot, culture, have the hot proportion. And body size, skin tone, tattooing and piercing yourself in different ways. Like these are all things that we do to be basically more beautiful. Now, here's what I feel personally. I feel that when you meet, if you notice, how do I say this? I don't want to be cliche, but we've all met incredibly beautiful people that we just couldn't talk to very much, right? And people go, oh, it's genetics that you're beautiful or not beautiful. It's genetics that you're smart or not smart. No, I think if you just spend a whole lifetime like combing your hair and trying to look pretty, you put all of your energy into symmetry, you put all of your energy into your clothes, you put all of your energy into, your Instagram following, I think next lifetime you will manifest more pretty. I think you will have manifested. I think it's something that spirit will can just push towards. So when we see beautiful people, it's not luck. I think they did nothing but try to look pretty and seek beauty, whether it's through art or their self-expression as the art or whatever. And so their soul knew how to manifest in beautiful symmetry. and a beautiful balance, and they're good at that. That's what they're good at. What are your thoughts?
See,
About
I like to look how I feel, right? And so, sometimes I'll feel sporty. Sometimes I feel like I just want to be, whatever the case. I like to just look how I feel, and I want to match. I don't want appearances and looks to be just that superficial, vapid, experience. It's all about the feeling. So I think for me, I've had a lot of people I was drawn into who maybe were not physically attractive, but they had an energy that was so palpable that made it beautiful, right? That made them beautiful. So, again, and we're seeing the people who load on the filters, load on the surgeries. I seeing how unhappy they are because they don't feel beautiful, and all that emphasis in our society has gone into superficiality, right? It's about how you present yourself, how you show yourself, not so much how you be and the essence that you have with yourself, the charm, right? So, but I think now, we've seen that in our culture, and we've seen it on the identity politics, extremism, like body, what do they call it? Not the fat shame, the body positivity stuff, And I'm like, all right, that's good. We don't need to have a specific essence of what beauty is. It could be different shapes and sizes, but that doesn't also mean we coddle, unhealthy behavior either, right? So there's been I would say a learning curve with a lot of people on this. And so I always tell people, put love into something, you'll find the beauty manifest out of it. Beauty is about the emphasis is that it's how you express, not so much just because it is. A flower is consciousness, right? A tree is consciousness. It's expressing what its intention is, so it's beautiful. And so we express our true expression truly is, and then we will show that beauty as well. We'll be vibrant, and then we will be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," right? And so it's always inner outward. I know it's so cliche, but it's true.
Well, I was just thinking about myself. I think beauty, for some degree, is a talent that we have, that we learn how to keep our things energetically chill. But I also feel that beauty is just what you said. There's a lot of it's energetic, and I've literally, seen someone that I thought was just stunningly beautiful, and then she got mad at me and she looked ugly. You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, I saw it, like, just turn. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like plastic. This idea, it is so much energy that we have behind things. And I think we want beauty because we want things to be smooth and calm and luscious, and but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I have met some people where they're like, "Oh my God, so beautiful." I'm like, "What are you looking at?" Like, I completely didn't see it, that particular thing, as beautiful. I didn't see it that way. So beauty is a seeing the self. When you see something beautiful, truly beautiful, you're pretty much seeing the way you feel you are, or you're seeing the way you wish you would be, but it's tied to you.
But we also have to understand too, like, there's reasons why we find physical traits attractive. Like, for example, it could be we had a bad relationship with mom or dad, and so we look for the same eyebrows, we look for the same features, right? That's why we tend to see a lot of people date people that look like their mom or dad, right? And so we have to understand what we identify as beauty and physicality. It's something that we have subconsciously, that's an unresolved emotion or some sort of experience that we've had, that we're actually connecting an experience to the physicality. When people are overly specific, I feel like the people who are the most balanced say, "I just doesn't matter. I just focus on the person. I'm not so much into a type." They're the most open. They have the least hangups because they understand that it's all about the energy and the connection. So I think even when people are like, "I like this," or "have this fetishes," it's a psychological attachment that we have to identify. So it really isn't about the physicality either. When we think it is, it's something deeper. It's always something deeper.
It's about the excitement. Spiritually, for instance, first of all, I don't know if everyone's, I don't know how honest we're going to be. I'll go ahead and be honest. It's like, when you're on the prowl and you're that certain age of being on the prowl, a certain age, the person that you're just like crazy want to jump, not usually beautiful. It's a different energy. It's like I just want to be with that. And when you look at the astrology, the like really intense sexual connection is usually where there's a huge diversity of learning and teaching between the two. There's huge diversities. And so your energy is just dying to calm theirs out, and theirs just dying to calm yours out, which is not what happens. Everyone's up naked and pregnant. But that, so the point is, like, it's not even beauty that, like, I think, does the last call, right? Like, does the last call, what is, do-si-do, invite him home kind of thing. What is that called? Take him home, square dance?
Square dancing? Yeah.
It's like, would you like to go home with me? No. Okay. Would you? Like, humans are just like that. Like, how about you? Like, it's totally literally people waiting for him. But it's not beauty that's driving us, to my point. I think to some degree people don't even necessarily, appreciate beauty until they're somewhat of an artist themselves of some sort, because it's not easy to pull something out beautiful, smooth, a lot of patience, etc.
Beauty is expression, period. It's just an expression. And so, and people are so focused on physical expressions, perhaps they are trying to fall in love with their own physical appearance and be confident in their physicality or sexuality. You talked about prostitution earlier becoming legal. It's legal here in Nevada. But I think there's also different spectrum of people that go and have prostitution. They're lonely. They don't have the confidence to be in a relationship, or they have social anxiety. So they feel comfortable in the control setting. So it's not just about the superficial for a lot of people. A lot of it's emotional. A lot of it's also negative. They want control. So they buy someone to have control over, right? So, and they find that beautiful and attractive. So I think we need to understand, things that we do find beauty, ask ourselves, where's the root core of that attraction? And there could be someone from a past life that we have unresolved with, and we're seeking those physicalities in another person. We find that beautiful when it's just a past life unresolved. So if we go deeper with this, we can actually alter. A lot of people, I've changed my attraction so many times, Christopher, because I changed myself. I used to be attracted to this type. Now I'm not attracted to that type. I'm attracted to this type. So your taste will change, what you deem to be beautiful, when you focus on the emphasis of expression.
Well, no, I think sexual attraction and beauty attraction are different. Totally different. That's how Schwarzenegger had an affair with this maid. You know what I mean? And he was married to Maria Shriver. It's beautiful, Seriously, Kennedy, whatever. And I'm not dissing any woman or anything. I'm just saying, clearly the man has a wide appetite of likes, right? And I think a lot of sexual energy is energetic. I think there's an energetic pull there that the vibrations just get along, or they don't get along, right? And that also is kind of hot at times, types of things. I think there's a refinement, though. I think anything that's refined is beautiful. And there's just something kind of built in us that if it's a smooth note, we call it beautiful. We can't help it. If it's a rough note, we don't call it as beautiful. And we sort of have these, just ways of expressing humanity as far as the refinement and how balanced it is, because symmetry and balance is beautiful.
If people want to, true. But if people really want to feel beautiful, and I would say when you're getting dressed, ask yourself, what mood am I in today? How do I feel today? Do I feel relaxed today? Do I feel conservative today? Do I feel sporty today? And dress based off that, and express yourself based on the mood you're in. You'll start recognizing that it's not all about the looks. You'll start disassociating beauty about the looks, how we critique ourselves in the mirrors. I feel this vibe today. I look cute in this vibe. We'll start understanding and training our brains to see beauty in the expression. Because so many people I see them judge themselves. I'm to this, I'm to that. I'm like, well, then just present yourself how you feel. If you feel like you want to be relaxed and comfortable, then dress accordingly, right? I think we need to do things that we do every day to help retrain the brain to look at things in a less superficial way, more about the feeling and expression. You know what I mean? Those are ways that we can do that day to day. People always ask, what can I do to change this? Well, we have things we do every day we can just do differently, right? So, but the superficiality, I see so many sad people with layers of filler and lips like this, and I just see a person who's completely sad and just doesn't know what true beauty is of love and connection, right? And value.
Well, we're getting deep here, because I think honestly, when you find someone energetically right for you, they are beautiful in your eyes.
100%.
And it's just because they make you feel beautiful. They make you feel calm. They make you, the energy just mixing together, coffee and cream. It just creates that sort of hum that we love. And so I think a lot of beauty is actually leading us to spiritual beauty. I think even though it starts shallow, it does come down to, that inner attention. And I think that anyone can become beautiful. I think if you put your conscious on it, your body will start to do it.
Well, and if you understand your objective about expression, then you'll find beauty in everything. Right? Yeah. There's some people that look at me, they love my tattoos. Some people look at me, they hate my tattoos. And people are very critical and opinionated about people's looks. And I'm like, you're just unhappy. If you have to vocalize your opinions about someone's looks, you are so unhappy. Right. And so, but again, for me, I've learned to, because this is all about expression for me. Every tattoo means something, and so everything I do is a meaning for expression. So it's not about the aesthetics. Even though I love aesthetics, it's about the expression, using the aesthetics. But when we start allowing ourselves to see the expressions, expressions, how people are vibrating, then we'll see the beauty in everything. We wouldn't be so picky, so standardized with our physical appearances, and and I think when you get to that state, that's freedom. That's real freedom. And I'm gonna do a little story real quick, because we used to go to the gym, and I used to be put off by these people who would wear the the injections and all that stuff, and so it made me uncomfortable. And I'm saying to myself, well, why, if I'm comfortable with myself, why does their extremism bother me, right? So I said, well, let me get to know them. Nicest people. Right. And so genuine and cool. And I was saying to myself, I was judgmental because I didn't find it beautiful in my position. But afterwards, I just saw here's a person that's maybe insecure, but they're beautiful people. I was able to see the beauty behind all that superficiality.
Yeah.
So it's important that we look at the expression and why, and we'll have compassion. We all have our shit. And obviously they had their shit to want to measure up, but they were sweet people, right? And so I think now collectively we are redefining the aspects of what beauty really is. And I think this is probably why it's on topic, with Libra season, because everyone is really redefining what that really means.
I think Libra is completely being redefined. And talk about that. I'll say this, and one last point is, I met someone who was like just covered in tattoos, like just covered, like head to toe.
Yeah.
And the first thought was like, ugh. It was those, kind of scared me, right? It kind of scared me, but then I ended up sitting down talking to the person, the sweetest guy in the world, so sweet. And I was like, oh, it's like a porcupine thing. It's like sometimes people like want to scare away the people that would hurt them, and it's not even, you have no idea what's on the inside. So it's all that sort of thing. And sometimes you have people who are beautiful on the outside, you get to know them, they're sons of bitches, like just like whoa, you are just So we can't judge a book by its cover. But I ain't gonna buy a book without a cover.
True. But we also have to not judge people if people are wearing their insecurities on their sleeve. Let's being bold enough to do some of their insecurities while y'all sitting there judging people about like what people are doing. Your insecurities are rather transparent, how horrible and disgusting you are to other people. So at least those people are doing something with their vulnerabilities and wearing them on their sleeves to a certain degree, or at least turning it into something unique. And I can't believe 2025 you are condemned for that, or condemned for having a different opinion. So, there's no beauty in that, judgmental energy. The beauty is the acceptance and understanding of the different expressions, right? And have, again, the objective reality, the collective reality.
I think AI is changing that. For instance, I started playing with AI over the weekend, just having some fun. And I was doing Grok stuff because I like Grok, and it was drawing pictures. And the thing is like, okay, I can tell it anything and it will draw it. Like gone are the days where I can't draw what I want to see. And then suddenly it kind of puts a whole nother perspective. It's like, oh, it's not the drawing that's now cool. It's the idea behind the drawing that's becoming cool. And so now it's about compelling ideas that you feed the machine that makes it cool. It's not about actually looking pretty. Grok made everyone look pretty.
It's taking the execution out. Sometimes people spend more time executing than creative. I'm still finding I'm a lot faster in Photoshop and doing than AI is doing it for me. So I'm just going to Photoshop and plopping things out. But I agree with you in the sense of like it's forcing people to be more creative instead of having to spend all the time executing, because we'll have a creative idea, but then it's weeks and months of execution, So
right. Well, I think they say the age of Aquarius is all about individuality and being completely unique. And when I talked to the Pleiadians off camera, they were saying they think humans are funny because we're the most free species in the universe, and we all copy each other. We don't do original stuff, And I think that's an interesting perspective too. I think when you have these tools like AI, then originality is going to take over, and I think you're going to have beauty will be. I just mark my words. It is like not only pretty but uniquely pretty. And we're already seeing that with like models and stuff. Like the models are going really well. They have like a little bit of every ethnicity in them, and they have you can't tell where they're from, kind of, because they're just kind of borrowing from all the different genetics that they find interesting and creating this new super pretty woman or whatever. So, or pretty man, right? We'll see. So our creativity, when our creativity can push beauty and redefine it, which we're about on the case of now, beauty might become very compelling because it might be something you go out of your way to be unique about.
Yeah. Again, we're more expressive, less, aesthetic, focus. We understand, okay, the aesthetic is actually reflecting the expression. Now I see beauty, right? But I do think that when a trend gets exhausted, it's about to die out and change. And we're seeing that kind of with filters and the surgeries. It's getting exhausted to where I think people are just like, oh, fuck it. I'd rather just look older than look like a freaking old person with balloons on their face, So, and again, there's gonna be people that are say, well, now you're condemning plastic surgery. It's like, no, I'm not. We're talking about extremism. Those who just want to tweak and do little things, I support it. Go do what you got to do to tweak things up. There's nothing wrong with that either. So before I get comments about that too, understand that, it's good to tidy things up and good to get, cleans up, but we're talking about the extremism of such in the name of beauty, right? And so I think people are starting to see that trend die out now, people are just wearing kind of frumpy-dubby clothes, and I think COVID helped with that too, Christopher, right? People are just more casual now than they used to be. They will roll out of bed and go shopping now.
We were caught on the merry-go-round. I was like, eat, work, sleep, eat, work, sleep, eat, work, sleep, eat, work. And it was just like, nah, nah, nah. And then someone stopped the treadmill, like, what are we doing? We just kind of came out of our comas and we realized, yeah, why am I looking? Women are like, why am I spending 25 minutes in makeup on the highway in the morning? It's like, it just all of a sudden dawned on us, like, what are we doing? We came out of our coma, and we have different values now. But I got to tell you, I'm a Taurus. I'm a sucker for beauty. I'm a sucker. I love beauty. I love beautiful people, boys, girls, whatever. Watching, I see beauty go by. I'm just like, whoa! Something in my stomach goes like, like it's whenever I see anything beautiful that has that symmetry to it. And but I don't feel like it's mine. Actually, I feel like just like looking at the earth, like, wow, I'm just blown away by it. But on the other side too, I like finding unique beauty, where like someone who I find that people who don't have the physical beauty still have a lot of beauty. And they're just expressing it somewhere else. And so when you find that like golden egg beauty, the beauty that's hidden, and it's like they open their mouth, they sing, and you're like, oh my God, it was the most beautiful voice. Like it's somewhere in all of us. We all have that ability to make it so beautiful and refined that it just gets under our skin. There's a magic there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I used to be so, I was just thinking, because I used to be how I was going back in time, how like I had a specific type and like it was like that. And so,
Me too.
and I got sick of being that way. And then I just, even now it's just like, it's all about when someone lights up, that's beautiful. When someone is, they're vibrant, when I see a lot of people dull and I'm like, they're not beautiful because they're not shining. A lot of people just walk around very dull in their heads, critical themselves. And so they're dull. And then when I see people vibrant and I see older women that go to Sprouts and they're like so bubbly in person and charming, I'm like, she's a beautiful woman and so there's my levels of beauty have completely changed across the years, and it makes, like you said, the woman, she snapped, yelled at you, she looked ugly, like her facial features changed.
Right.
And the more we hold it, when we hold those features, our face starts morphing into the stress, morphing into the insecurity, right? And when you smile more, your face will morph into that and glow. So we should be understanding that the beauty, as cliche as it sounds, comes from within.
No, so good.
The show.
Well, I would say that was a beautiful ending, sir. I thank you for that. I know they can catch you tomorrow night live on Thursday night, correct? Tell us more.
Yep. Again, it's called is there a collective reality? Because I know with creating reality, when we learn about these things, everyone talks about their own subjective reality and no one else exists. There is a collective reality, but an objective reality, which is similar. And so we'll discuss that tomorrow, and live readings as well every Wednesday. And you have your show tomorrow, right? Namaste Today?
No, I have Namaste Today on Friday. But I'll be moving stuff around. We'll do a little bit right now. We do think, let's drop some right now. We'll see if we get any comments. But we do feel we do Namaste Today is going to be moving to Sunday nights. Namaste Today is going to move to Sunday nights and being retitled to another title. So Namaste Today is about to go through its, its 20th year, really. But 10th year is it. Transformation. And we think Astro Mingle will stay on Friday night. So we think, we're going to be doing some scheduling changes. A lot of people want Namaste Today to be the live show. So we're probably going to pre-tape Mingle, and we're going to go live with Namaste again. So just listen to our fans.
Use those Facebook polls. Use those Facebook polls. They'll do it for you.
I am Polish. I love Poles. So anyway.
No. Yeah.
I know. So it's like you should have gotten that. All right, friends. Well, folks, I'll just say this. It's going to be a shift show with this full moon in Aries. Don't get lured into the conflict. Don't fall for it, okay? If you don't know if you can control yourself and not say anything, get yourself the hell out of there at that moment, because I do think there'll be violence. I do think they'll be going a little too far. It's kind of a volcanic full moon, okay? 14 is like a very yelling at each other kind of full moon. So, really avoid those unnecessary consequences. But if you find something that's a shift show and you don't like it, for Christ's sakes, lead out loud. All right, that's all we have.
Good night, guys.
See you next week. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Wow.
It's a beautiful day for a beautiful show.
Beauty is inside of us. Not everything else beautiful at all. Just kidding.
I know, it's boring. That's boring, right? I mean,
I do feel like a vortex. Have you vortex me? Like, I don't know. The last 2 days have just not felt real.
Yeah, I mean, there's times when my energy's low and I don't feel good, or I have a bad hair day. You know what I mean? Bad skin day. So
bad hair light.
Bad hair light. Bad wig day.
Bad thing.
Coming up next week on Serious Joy TV. Catch Leading Out Loud on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Join the motley crew of Sensei Christopher and psychic medium Scott Cruz for a convo about conflict without the casualties. Then join us for Astro Mingle on Friday night for another illuminating conversation. Who will be sitting on the spiritual couch with Sensei? We're going to let this one be a surprise. The best in enlightened entertainment, only on Serious